If you have a crack on the bezel or the baffle of your MacBook, then this is the right video for you, because I'm gonna share with you what I did so that I had this fixed by Apple for free. So last June 2019, when I closed my Mac, I just heard a crack for some reason. And when I opened it, this is what I saw. A crack on the bezel, or what they call a baffle on my MacBook Pro. This is a 2017 base model MacBook Pro. This was like 89 to 90,000 pesos worth. And for it to crack this easily, it was really disappointing. So I panicked. And the first thing that I did was search online about people who may have experienced the same thing. I actually saw a lot of people who had these kinds of concerns. This problem is so prevalent that there is actually entries on popular shopping sites like Alibaba, even local ones like Lazada and Shopee, where you can find replacement baffle. They call it baffle for your Mac. So I searched on it, and it was fairly inexpensive, but that would require you to remove this original baffle on your Mac and place the new one on it. That was the first option for me, to replace it myself, or maybe have it replaced by someone who had experience replacing it already and pay a fee. And from what I know, you pay around 2,500 to 3,000 pesos for this service. Now, my second option is to have it replaced by Apple themselves. So that's one thing that I did. But before that, I sent an email to Tim Cook, and that's one of the suggestions that I saw online by people who have experienced the same thing. They sent an email to Tim Cook and shared him the problem. But I am not sure if that made a difference whatsoever. Yeah, I did not get a response from Tim Cook. So my next option was to go to the Apple Service Center here in the Philippines, where I am at, and have it checked and then replaced. And when they diagnosed it, they gave me a quotation on how much I'd have to pay for it. Just a little over 30,000 pesos for this repair. And what they told me was the MacBook, it's composed of a top case and a bottom case. And according to them, the MacBook was made in such a way that any replacement or any repair that they'd have to do on the Mac, they'd have to replace the whole thing. So if you have any problem on anything that's on the bottom case, they'd replace the whole bottom case. And if your problem is on the top case, they'll replace the whole top case. That's how it is. That's good if they'll cover it, but that's bad if you were in my scenario, because the issue here is just the baffle. My Mac was working perfectly fine. It's not even part of the screen. It's like the bottom of the screen. It's not even glass. It's made of like some brittle plastic. I'm saying brittle because when I had the crack on my Mac, the hole was getting larger and larger because it was crumbling. So every day that I was using it, the hole kept getting bigger and bigger. Now, I almost considered just ignoring it. What I did was actually I put a paper large enough to cover it, and then I put some adhesive tape there, just so first I don't see it, and second it can stop the dust from getting into it. So to cut the long story short, I definitely won't pay 30,000 pesos for that. I told them that the baffle is just like less than 1,000 pesos, and some people even replace it. Why can't we just do that here? They told me that if you do that, that may be a reason for them to not accept your Mac anymore for warranty concerns in the future. because you tampered with your machine already. Let's just say that at that point I removed the option of removing the or replacing the baffle of my screen. I remembered back then that there is an Apple customer care number that you can call for your issues. I believe it's Apple Singapore. You call them, and then they 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 try to take care of your issues. I was one day late in extending the Apple Care warranty, and I'll tell more about that in future videos if you want to. But let's just say that they were able to fix that issue for me. So I thought of calling them again, and I talked to a guy named Rap or Raf. I can't remember anymore. And I told him what happened. I told him everything basically. What he told me was he understands what I'm feeling, and that although he's not promising anything, he's gonna try and contact their engineering department or engineering team and try to plead my case and negotiate what we can do about it. One thing that I added on that conversation was that I saw online a lot of people sharing their dismay on the same issue. Raf, I believe, asked for like a link of this online forum, and I told him that this is not a good look for Apple. This is an issue experienced by a lot of people. Basically, what I'm pleading, the case that I'm pleading is that this looks like a factory defect of not maybe just my Mac, but of a lot of Macs, because a lot of people are experiencing it. And I gave him the link for the forum where people were discussing the exact same issue with pictures. That's one thing that I added on that conversation. And so June 9, I sent an email to Tim Cook, and then October 30 was the next time that I worked on it. I went to Beyond the Box because I know of their service center in Green Hills, and I trust them. And they were the ones who gave me a quote of 30,000 pesos to fix it. November 24 was when I called Apple Singapore customer care when I talked to Raf. And I believe this was the same time that I sent an email again to Tim Cook saying that because of this issue on my Mac, aside from the fact that I have to pay 30,000 for the replacement of the baffle, any future concerns that may be related to this will not be covered anymore because there's physical damage already on my Mac. So that made me even more frustrated because I lost warranty on at least half of my device, which is my screen. November 25, I wasn't sure if that was who called me, or I think I tried to call him, and then I got an email from him, and he told me that he was busy, but he will try to reach back as soon as he is not busy anymore. And he did call me that day and reassured me that he had escalated the concern to their engineering team, and he's just waiting for an update from them. Now, at this point, it felt good that there was at least someone working on my issue, but there was no hope in sight whatsoever. November 26, this was really fast. In all fairness to Raf and to Apple customer care, he got information from the engineering team, and he told me the plan. The plan was, I'm gonna go back to Beyond the Box, have them check my Mac again. What I need from them is another record, another fresh new record of the issue. Raf would be talking to them once they have another confirmation of what went on. So I went to Beyond the Box Service Center again, and December 4, that took a while, almost a week. I was informed that I have to pay for it. This was the same thing that I got ever since I had conversations with the service center here in Manila. I informed Rap of this, and when he got my email, he immediately called me and told me what our next plan of action was. And this was when my hopes were a little up. So the next course of action was Rap was gonna send them or call the manager from that service center and tell them of an order, sort of like an order from the engineering team of the customer care of Apple Singapore. And basically, he talked directly with the manager of the service center here in the Philippines and told the service center of what transpired with the escalation with the engineering